So it's just decades, right? And so the decade where when I was in my young 20s and my baby father was abusing me, and then still in my late 20s, in my 30s, I was with, my Jamaican, you know, baby father when I had my 3 kids, and we struggled too. But we went through a spiritual journey. I was happy, even though that I was struggling during that time. I still was happy. I was Muslim. You know what I mean? And being Muslim, you have to be very submissive. So I was very a submissive wife. I was, the type of wife that, whatever he say went. You know what I mean? If he wanted to take on another wife, I really didn't have no say in it. But when he got locked up, I realized that during that time, I was like, what are you doing? You can't live like this. You don't want to live like this anymore. So when I got to Florida, I was like, that's it. I got to do what's right for me and my kids. So I left. Me leaving Florida, and me going back to North Babylon, then going back to living a crackhead house. Then I moved to Canarsie. A lot of people think that my place in Canarsie, I had an apartment. I didn't. I had a room. I had a room before Canarsie when I had the kids. And what happened was, I was struggling so bad, and I had to call their father for help. I was like, I can't take care of them. So he was like, well, send them back to Florida, and you can send them back to Florida, and I'll help you out until you get your stuff together. I'll send them back down. And I was like, all right. So I sent them back to Florida from the crackhead house. I had a room, and then I had to send them to Florida. So I sent them to Florida so I can, get my shit together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm struggling with 3 kids. Nobody can really help me. So I sent them to Florida. I found a room in Canarsie, and so I wasn't even working. I just saved up my money and got this room. And over in Canarsie on Avenue D, there's a whole bunch of factories there. I walked the whole strip knocking on these factory doors and, giving out my resume and hoping that somebody give me a job. I ended up getting a job as data entry, where you punching in invoices and stuff. So I got that, and I was like, okay, I was making enough money, and I was like, okay, save up my money, I'm going to go get my kids now. So when I called their father, like, oh, I found a place, I'm going to come and get my kids. He was like, oh, you're not coming to get your kids. You're not getting them. They stay in Florida. It's better up here. You need to move up here. I was like, no, I don't want to move up there. Because I knew if I move up there, he would be trying to control my life. He had that girl. He still was with that same girl. So I couldn't deal with that, him being there with the same girl and him trying to control my life. So I was like, no, I can't do it. So anyway, I used to send them stuff for their birthday and Christmas. He used to let me see them. So I had to come up with a plan. So one day, his sister, invited me to Florida so I can go see my kids. So I flew out there and I went to go see them, and I met up with my kids. I didn't see them for about a whole year, and I was crying because I was saying to myself, I can't let this happen to me again. Like, my first son is in Virginia with their dad, and now here I got 3 kids and they with their father, and I refuse to let that happen with them. So when I got there, me and the baby father, we were fighting, we was arguing and stuff like that, and I could tell how unhappy my kids was when they see me. They was crying, and I was like, I gotta get my kids back. And so my son, they were all, I could just tell my kids was not happy, and I didn't have money to take them right then and then and leave. So in my head again, I'm planning a scapegoat for them. I'm like, I gotta get my kids out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going home, and I was like, oh, I'm coming to get my kids. He was like, you can't. He was telling me I can't come get my kids. That they can't leave there. They got to be in Florida or whatever. And I was like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, I'm coming with the cops. I know where he lived. You in the same apartment. When I fly back up, I'm coming with the cops, because his name wasn't on the birth certificate. So I was like, I'm gonna tell him that he kidnapped my kids. He gonna get fucking locked up, and I'm coming to get my kids. This is my plan. So I saved my money, and I was like, I'm gonna fly up. I didn't even tell his sister I was just gonna go stay with his sister. Then when she brings them over to see me with the sister, I was gonna pack up their shit and we get on the plane and we out. Lo and behold, he gets into an accident. He gets into an accident in Florida, a tailgate, boom. They ran his license and his name. they saw that immigration wanted him. They locked him up. Guess what? They had to send my kids back. So me, in my head, I was going to do that. I was going to come with the cops and all of that. I didn't give a fuck about you had a record. I didn't care. I wanted my fucking kids back. So I didn't even, thank God that I didn't have to do that. The Father did it for me. So the woman that he was with, she put them on the plane, and she was going to put them on the plane, and then I was going to meet them at the airport, but she flew with them, and then she flew back. So it was like an exchange. She came on the plane with my kids, and I grabbed my kids, and I brought them to this room that I was living with in Canarsie, and we all was living in this room. I had a king size bed. I gave them the bed, and I slept on the floor, and I did that for months. And the other rooms, it was a room and apartment, and the other rooms was these ladies that lived. They were from Guyana. So they was from Guyanese, and thank God for these ladies, because they were older women that did living jobs, so they wasn't always there. So the apartment was like my whole apartment, but it was still, we only had a room. And so they were these ladies that did living jobs. They only came home on the weekend. When they came home, they used to bake bread, make all this food. They said, help me with my kids and stuff like that. One of the ladies ended up leaving. It was a smaller room, and because I was making a lot of money, I had found a good job. I ended up taking the next room. I ended up having 2 rooms now. So my kids had their own room, and then I had my own room, which was next door. And then it was these other 2 ladies that Stu was renting the room. Those ladies helped me out so much, because there was times that I had to go to work. So when my kids would go to school and they came back, I had to leave them home by themselves because I had to go to work. I used to be out doing interviews, knocking on people's door, doing interviews, working for Columbia University, Michigan University, and stuff like that. So I ended up had to leave them home, and they used to mind them for me whilst I had to go do the work. But then when they went away during the week, because they used to leave like Monday morning, I still had to leave them to go do work. So so that part of my life, I struggled. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, it just felt like my life was just up and down, especially with my kids. Like I did not want my 3 kids that I had to go through the same thing that I put my son John through, because he still was living with his dad in Virginia. You know what I mean? And I guess people could say, well, thank God that he was living with his father down in Virginia, because I didn't have my shit together. But the thing is that no matter if you don't got your shit together, when you got your kids with you and you're not like an abusive mother and you're not abusing them and stuff like that, and they well taken care of, that's fine. We all go through the struggle together. I'd rather my kids be with me and we all go through the struggle together than to send them away, because my son was down in Virginia and he wasn't being treated right. His father was very abusive to him. The stepmother that he was with, the woman that he married, she did, I'll give you credit, you helped take care of my child, yes, but you didn't love my child the way a mother's supposed to love their child, okay? The way the mother's supposed to love their child, okay? So my son grew up. My son was a product of the streets too, because right now, my oldest son, the one that was taken away, he's locked up, doing 31 years in jail. He's been locked up for 16 years, okay? He's been locked up ever since he's been 19 years old, and he is 36. He's 36 now. He's been locked up for a long time. He's still locked up to this day. I'm just hoping that this is 2025. I'm hoping that he comes home this year. I pray every day or every other day, that they release him, you know what I mean? And at when he first was locked up, I was devastated, but then I said to myself, you know what? If my son wasn't locked up, he'd be dead, because he was blood. He joined the gang. Again, he's looking for a family because he wasn't receiving that from his dad, you know what I'm saying? So he ended up joining the gang and being in the streets. He did come home one time when I had gotten a place out in Brooklyn. Like after we left from being in the room, I ended up getting an apartment. But leaving that room, and we went into another room. My sister had to put me in one of but I ended up getting an apartment, and he came to live with me. my oldest son. He came because he was like 16, 17 years old. And after all these years, he comes to live with me. And, everything is fine and everything. But we end up having problems because I think he was a little jealous because he saw the bond I had with my other 3 kids. And I think he was messing with his younger brother, right? And, they got into an argument, and I was like, "What are you doing? You always messing with him." Said, "Oh, you don't love me. You don't love me like my kid, you don't love me like you love them." He said, "My father told me you didn't want me. You try to kill me. You try to get rid of me, and now I'm here, and you still don't love me." Like, his father put all this crazy shit in his head. He ended up leaving the house, and then going. He called me all kind of bitches and bitch this. And I said, "Oh, you can't be in my house calling me all kind of bitch." And he ended up leaving, going to go stay with my sister in Manhattan. And then his father ended up coming up to Manhattan, sending him money to bring him back to Virginia. He gets back to Virginia. Within less than a year, he gets locked up. And he's still locked up from this day. He comes staying with me. He's supposed to be moving me out. Got him a job. Was getting him a job, trying to get him... just trying to make his life better for him, you know what I mean? Because he was in the street just like his mother, you know what I mean? He was in the gang, so when he came up, me trying to mother him and try to tell him what to do, it wasn't happening. He's a product of me. Just like how I was in foster care, and that woman was trying to make a better life for me, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I'm grown." You know what I mean? That's how my son was. So I was trying to instill that in him, and he was just rebellious. Cursed me out and everything. And he went to go stay with my sister for like a month or 2. And then he went back down to Virginia. When he reached back down to Virginia, he got in trouble. They tried to hold up a gas station, whatever, and they locked him up. And he's been locked up since then. You know what I mean? But now he's such a changed person. Like, he understands my life. He understands what I went through. He understands what his father did. Like, he realized.